Welcome to One Down Dog on Demand. I'm Molly, and today we're going to take our balls to the wall and do a little neck and shoulder release. So you can grab your yoga tune-up balls or a couple of tennis balls in a tube sock, whatever you've got. And if you have a block, that also will be really helpful. So go ahead and have that ready. So we're going to start with a general upper back sort of warm up, and we'll take our two balls, and one will be on either side of our spine. So we do want to avoid rolling directly on the spine. That's not going to feel so good. So make sure you've got one on the right, one on the left, and we'll come right in between the shoulder blades. And then once you've got the blocks positioned, you can step your feet out a little bit, just wherever is comfortable, and do a little up and down. Think of like Yogi Bear scratching his back against a tree. So if this isn't enough intensity for you, if you want more, know that you can always do this lying down on the floor. But if you're a little more tender, or if you're pregnant and you prefer not to lie down on your back for any reason, at the wall is great. So after you've been doing this for, a few rounds, you can find a slightly different spot. Move the balls up or down. And again, start to rock up and down. And maybe make some snow angels here. Play with moving your arms out wide as you're moving against the blocks. This wall is very slippery. Rocking up and down, maybe doing like a little double-armed backstroke. You can adjust your feet out more so that you lean back and have more pressure against the balls. Or you can walk it in to have a little bit less. Let's try crossing the arms over the chest. Give yourself a hug, and then just rock slightly from side to side, like you're slow dancing with yourself. Get really loving and gentle. And then try a different angle. Again, you can move the balls slightly up or slightly down, depending on where you are. Cross the other arm over your chest. Do a little up and down, a little side to side, maybe a side bend. So there's really no wrong way to roll. We just want to stay out of anything that's going to cause more tension. So on an intensity scale from 1 to 10, maybe we want to stay around like a 7, maybe an 8. Anything more than that might make us kind of stiffen up, and we don't want to add more tension here. All right, so let's get a little deeper into this neck and shoulder tissue. We're going to take one ball out of the tote and grab a block. And the block is going to go on its skinny setting and take the ball down towards the bottom edge of the block. This might be a little bit awkward, but we'll get the hang of it. And we'll try to seat the ball right in these upper traps, right in these muscles where the neck connects to the shoulder, where we kind of always want that little massage. And think of maybe like a linebacker. I think that's the right thing. I don't play football, but step your right foot forward and the left foot can go a little back. If you feel like you need to hold the block, you can do that with your left hand. If you're able to just let the arms hang, you can do that. And then maybe rock gently up and down. And start to massage out some of those tissues around the top of your shoulder. And you might swing your right arm forward and back. Start to find a little bit of movement there. I like to take the right arm and wrap it around behind my back and find a little half bind. Again, that can be pretty intense, so be gentle. Maybe scrub up onto the side of the neck a little bit more. You can always explore different angles. And if you want to add a bigger stretch for your neck here, you can tilt your head to the left and then optionally take your left hand around behind your right shoulder, or your right ear rather, and gently start to pull. Maybe the chin goes down, maybe it lifts up. Just finding a little side bend to your neck here while we're massaging out the top of the shoulder. So you can stay here and play with this for as long as you want. When you're ready to come out, grab the block, grab the ball, come and stand for a minute. Let your arms hang down by your sides and just notice if your right shoulder feels different from the left. Might feel a little bit heavier. And then we'll go to the other side here. So same. The block is going to come against the wall, maybe at about chest height. The ball is going to rest against that skinny side of the block. And then we'll bring the shoulder up against the ball and try to seat it in there, right in the crook of that shoulder and neck area. And you can always hold the block in your right hand. If it feels okay to let the arms just hang, do that. Maybe step your right foot back, kind of like an itty bitty warrior two. And then if you want to add some movement, you can sway your left arm forward and back. If you'd like to add on to that, that left arm could come around behind your back, find a little bind, and then maybe make some bigger strokes along the left side of your neck. And you can stay here, or you could tip your head to the right. Maybe take that right hand and gently pull your skull away from your left shoulder. So you're putting a stretch on those tissues where the ball is pressing in. Feel free to rock a little bit in that shape. And then when you feel like you've had enough on this side, you can grab a hold of the block, take a hold of the ball, and gently come on out. Set your props down for a moment. Let your arms hang, maybe give them a little bit of a shake. Hopefully your left side feels a little bit more symmetrical to the right now. So I'm going to switch my balls just so that they wear evenly. So we'll grab one. And we're going to trace the whole scapula. So if you can feel with your left hand, take it up and over the shoulder and try to find the spine of your right scapula. Should feel almost like a collarbone on your back. It's this little horizontal ridge. And if you come in towards your spine, there's a little corner here where the spine meets with the medial border of your shoulder blade. Okay, you can kind of trace that down. You can take your hand under your armpit to find that bottom corner of your shoulder blade. We talk about these a lot in yoga, but we don't always take the time to actually find them with our fingers. So find that bottom corner. It's kind of like Cape Horn, right? And then trace your fingers up the outer border of your shoulder blade. So now that you've got a pretty good sense of the shape of your scapula, we're going to trace the ball all around it. So we'll start right at that upper inner corner, right on the spine of your scapula, just above it. And lean it against the wall. And again, you could totally do this on the floor. And start to rock from side to side. And depending on the type of wall you have, your balls might need a bit of management from time to time. That's okay. Give it a little rock. You can step your feet further away and lean into it more if you want more pressure. And then we're going to start to come towards the outside. So really it's the back of your shoulder. It's the back of your armpit. This is where a lot of that rotator cuff tissue lives. So maybe you make some circles there. This can be super tender. So if you feel a spot that feels tender, I want you to pause and find a way to maintain some pressure on it that feels manageable. So again, around like a 7 or so on that intensity scale. And then once you find that really tender spot on the back of your armpit, take your arm out to the right, so it's at shoulder height. Bend your elbow so your elbow's against the wall. And try a little windshield wiper of your forearm. So the back of your hand comes up towards the wall. And then bring the palm down towards the wall. And just rotate a couple of times up and down, kind of like the cat statue at the sushi restaurant. And as you do that, you might move your shoulder against the ball a little bit and just notice what tissues you're capturing there. And then we'll move a little more into the lat line. So you can take the ball down a little bit more, right at this like outer corner of your armpit. Bring it against the wall. You might need a block depending on the shape of your body, and rock a little bit up and down. And you can go down more towards the rib cage. You can go all the way up towards the tricep. You can hook your elbow behind your head, or even add like a little stretch here and grab the elbow. And then we'll keep going. We'll come all the way. Ooh, that's a good spot. If you find a good spot, don't be afraid to stop and hang out there and just breathe for a minute. This tricep stuff is really hard to get to. And then we'll come down towards that outer border of the scapula. So just keep rocking up and down. You can go forward and back if you want to go with the line of your serratus and your ribs. Go up and down if you want to go more with the line of the lats. We'll come down a little lower and find that bottom tip of your shoulder blade, that little Cape Horn area, and just kind of like circumnavigate Cape Horn. Roll it around underneath the bottom tip of your shoulder blade. If you cross your shoulder blade, it's totally okay. And then come back to that medial border. So now you're in between your shoulder blade and your spine. And we'll rock up and down. So kind of like we did in the very beginning, only now it's a little bit more targeted. One ball gives more pressure than two. Oof. Maybe it'll feel interesting to take your right arm across your chest and catch a hold of that right upper arm and stretch these tissues while you're rolling them. Again, you're totally in control here of how much intensity you want. And when you feel like you have sufficiently explored your right scapula, we'll catch that ball, come away from the wall for a moment. Again, notice how your two shoulders feel, maybe roll them back a couple times. My left one definitely is a little crunchy, so let's get that evened out here. So we're gonna start at that upper inner corner of the shoulder blade. And you can come right above the spine of the scapula. There's a little notch where the ball will sit nicely. And you can kind of lean back into it for more pressure and start to rock left to right. And if you're on your back, you can always like bend your knees and lift your hips up to get more pressure into this upper shoulder area. And then we're going to start to come down towards the back of the armpit, the back of the shoulder, into this rotator cuff tissue. Whoop. That'll happen. Maybe give it a little circle. Feel like you're just kind of moving and grooving, looking for an interesting place to land. And when you find something that feels a little bit sensitive, we'll hone in here for a minute. So you can take your left arm out in line with your shoulder, bend your elbow to 90 degrees, and then think of like a cactus arm. Rotate the back of your hand up towards the wall, and then rotate the palm down towards your hip. And do that a couple times. You're doing basically a capsule car here in your left shoulder. So you're both engaging and then alternately stretching your external rotators. Maybe move around a little bit as you do that. And then we'll find the lat line. So you can take that left arm up and then take the ball a little more towards this outer armpit area. You can be more on the side, you can be more on the back, up or down. Pin it against the wall. If this is hard to do, you can put the block back against that ball and then rock it up and down. And you're trying to use your legs here to help you to find that movement. You might bend your elbow, rest it behind the head. This side might be different. You could even use your right hand to pull your left tricep into more of a stretch. You can imagine doing this on the floor will be significantly more intense because there's more weight on the shoulder. Last couple breaths here. And then we'll start to move down the lat line a little bit more, down into that outer rib cage area. And you can rock forward and back. So you're going with the grain of the serratus. More up and down with the lats. Feel free to stop along the way and explore anything that feels really interesting. And then we'll find that bottom tip of the shoulder blade and just like do some little half circles around it. Feel free to cross it, it's totally okay. And then we'll start to work our way back up that medial border. So in between your shoulder blade and your spine, now you're rocking up and down. And you're going across the grain of your rhomboids, which are the muscles that hug your shoulder blades together. It might feel interesting to bring your left arm across your chest and then pull on it with the right and give a stretch to those tissues while they're being massaged. It's called a pin and stretch. You can stay with the movement. Check in with your breath. Just make sure that you're breathing in a way that feels comfortable and natural. We don't want to overwork this. And then as we come all the way back up to where we started at that inner corner of the scapula, we'll take the ball out, rest for a moment, maybe give the shoulders a roll back and forward. Feel it out. I feel like I got to work out a little bit. So we're going to hit one last spot in the front of the chest. And if you have these kind of smaller, the regular size of the tune-up balls, a block might be helpful. So we're going to take the block, and you can try different heights with this. It's going to depend on your anatomy and the size of the balls. I'm going to try this medium height again, I think, and take the ball right to the center of the block. And we're going to start at the sternum. So if you can find with your fingers your breastbone, we want to come just off to the right. So we're not going to roll on the actual breastbone. We're going to roll these pec tissues, and we want to be under the collarbone. So this little notch right in between your sternum and your clavicle. So bring that in, and you can hold the block with your hands, or you can let your hands relax, and just gently rock from side to side. And you can bend your knees to drop the hips lower so the ball goes higher. And you could even come up onto your tiptoes to get lower on that pec tissue. This is stuff that we don't often think about massaging. We always want to massage our back, but really for a lot of us, the back is overstretched and the front line is what could use a pretty big release. And then I'm going to stabilize the block with my left hand and take my right arm out to the right, and I'm going to start to pull my chest to the left. So I'm going to go from side to side here, and maybe we turn the block sideways as well, so we have this wider surface to play on. Pin the ball, and then pull your shoulders to the left. And I'm going to come back to the center and then pull my shoulders to the left. So now I'm rocking from side to side under my collarbone. And we can come all the way out to the front of the shoulder here to this anterior deltoid stuff. Pin that to the ball. Maybe rock a little up and down. Go side to side. And let's play with adding a stretch. So that right arm can stay out to the right, or it can cactus, whatever feels more interesting. Wedge the ball like in this pec tissue just inside of your right shoulder, and then try turning your chest to the left. So you've probably done this stretch before on the floor. Now we're doing it, pinning the ball into those tissues and then adding that stretch. And you can move around a little bit there. If you hit a sticky spot, pause, breathe, try to soften into it. Okay. Stay with that as long as you want. I could really stay here all day, but let's do the other side. So you can release. Ooh, let all that blood rush back into the shoulder and the chest. That feels really good, that fresh flush of blood down the arm. It's like a little tourniquet effect. And then bring the ball back to maybe a skinny block, depending on all your things. And bring it right up to the left side of the sternum. So we're going to come in between the sternum and the collarbone in this little corner here. And just give it a little rock from side to side. And come up on your tiptoes to get lower. You can come down a little lower. And if you have scar tissue in your chest for any reason, this can be really helpful for bringing circulation back to that area to stimulate regrowth of healthy tissue. So that goes for any area of the body. The shoulders, if you've had surgery, the balls will help to break up some of that scar tissue and regenerate some healthier tissue. I'm going to turn my block sideways so it's wide and it's flat so I can get a little bit more motion across the chest now. So underneath the collarbone, I'm going to scrub my body to the right so the ball pulls to the left. Come back to center, press your chest into the ball, and then pull yourself to the right so the ball pulls to the left. You can do that a couple of times. Feel free to hold the block if that makes life a little bit easier. Again, you could do this on the floor. Then we're going to come all the way out towards this like pec minor tissue, maybe even front of the shoulder. I like to take the arm out to the left, rock it around a little bit, and go side to side or up and down. And then once you find an interesting place to land, anywhere on this front of shoulder chest area, left arm could stay out to the side. I already feel this. Or you could cactus it. And then start to turn your chest to the right. Turn your toes to the right. Turn your whole body to the right. This doesn't have to be static. You can kind of draw a half snow angel with that left arm. Or you could move your torso instead. Circle or scrub your shoulder against the ball while you're in that stretch. Let's take a few more breaths here. Maybe finding some stillness. And stay as long as you want to. When you're ready to come out, grab those props. You can set them down for now. Just come and stand tall. Let your arms rest down at your sides. Find any little movements in the neck and the shoulders that feel good. Just allow your body to flush with that new blood that rushes in. Let the shoulders get heavy. Soften or close the eyes. Let's take a breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Hope you enjoyed this neck and shoulder release today. Namaste.